Hello everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. So, training camp is in full swing. Well, full swing to the point that it can be into full swing, because we're not going to be in pads for at least another 3 weeks. We're basically running glorified OTAs. We're in the helmets, we're in the pads, we're in the shorts. But you know what I find interesting? I keep seeing these things on YouTube and on Twitter now, especially that Daniel Jones is in camp, and it's Daniel Jones is jacked with that 8 extra pounds, which is going to make him a better quarterback and give him better ball security. What the hell are people talking about? If you really know a lot about football, some ways you get concerned when a quarterback adds weight or adds muscle. It limits flexibility. It could potentially have slower reaction times. Now, I don't think 8 pounds is going to do that, but also adding 8 pounds of muscle does not make you Joe Montana. And if you look at Joe Montana was not a big quarterback. He was not a big guy. He was not a muscular guy. You know, if you think of the quarterbacks that are like well-built and muscular, you know, you got like Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton's been a nice quarterback, been to a Super Bowl, never won anything, won an MVP. And I think that MVP should have went to Eli that year, but we're not going to get into that. But it doesn't mean just because you add muscle, you're going to be a better quarterback. A little hint, because I love the comment that I saw earlier about how that's going to increase his grip and his ball security. Okay, here's the problem with that. His 8 pounds of muscles did not go to the tendons in his fingers. He may have bulked up his wrist. He may have done some hand compression exercises, which I've seen people do, I actually watched Chris Sims in his rookie season in 2003 do that with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, use this device that supposedly helps increase the grip. But all his muscles didn't go to his tendons in his arms, in his wrists and his fingers. If they did that, he would look like Hulk hands. You know, and maybe that would help his grip. You know what's going to improve? And another thing, it looks like most of his muscles went to his quads, his thighs, and his calves, which tells me that he was probably just doing a lot of squats and everything else, and which could be good. But again, I don't want to limit his mobility. We don't want to limit his flexibility. We don't want to limit his reflexes. You know, sometimes adding a little bit of extra weight, and there are quarterbacks that tried to add weight and found out they lacked the flexibility that they used to have when they were lighter. Tom Brady's a slight build guy. He's going on the diet and doing everything else, so he's more ripped, but he's not a big guy. He's slight of build. Eli Manning, yes, was in the Giants' weight room all the time and working out, but have you seen Eli? Did you see what Eli looked like? Eli won us 2 Super Bowls, and poor Eli looked like, I love the picture of him on vacation with his family when he's in the weird Bermuda shorts and he's carrying the little bucket. That's Eli's body. Eli was dad bod. You know, he wasn't this Adonis. You know, look at me. He wasn't like, oh, my Big Blue. I wish, maybe like 20 years ago. But you know what? What makes you a better quarterback? But what makes you a better quarterback is not 8 pounds of muscle. It's improving your downfield vision. It's improving your pocket awareness. It's improving your knowledge of the game and knowledge of different formations, patterns, and coverages. That's what makes you a better quarterback. If you would have told me that Daniel Jones spent the entire offseason working on his blindside pocket awareness, then I would have been impressed. I wouldn't know how you would do that. Now listen, I am not bashing Daniel Jones. I have a Daniel Jones jersey. I'm on the Daniel Jones train. I'm ready to rock and roll with Jones. But I just laugh when I see some of this stuff, because it's like, some of you people don't know what you're talking about. 8 pounds of muscle does not. May it help him in reference to injuries? We don't know that. There are guys that have gained 8 pounds of muscles, then all of a sudden are more weight and more muscles, then all of a sudden start developing hamstring issues. Does anyone remember that? Not only in football, but in baseball and a lot of other sports. But what I'm saying is Daniel Jones needs to focus on gaining blindside awareness. He does not have any. And I like Daniel Jones, but I've watched too many times where someone came from his blind side and wrecked him. He didn't move, he didn't duck, he didn't step up in the pocket. Why? Because that's something that you need to learn. That's something you will gain with, hopefully you will gain with experience. I am a little nervous because I've seen some games at Duke where he didn't really slide in the pocket well. Daniel Jones is great at taking off. He is great at sensing the pressure and taking off down the middle of the field. If you give him that open lane, he sees it well enough, especially from the pocket, that if that lane opens in the middle between the 20s, he's going down the middle. He's got great vision and great awareness with that. But his actual pocket presence and some of his footwork, footwork does not coincide with speed or your ability to escape out of the pocket. Most people get that confused. Footwork is how you go back into the pocket, how you set your feet, how you look downfield, and how you throw. That's what footwork entails. And footwork also entails how you move and slide in the pocket, how you move from side to side, how you step up, how you step back, how you sense the pressure. And Daniel Jones, if the pressure is in front of him, is a very good quarterback at picking that up. If the pressure comes from his sides, he still has an issue. Now, Eli had the same issues, but Eli had a little bit more fluidity in the pocket. Most people only remember Eli from the last 4 or 5 years. They don't remember Eli from the first 9 years. There we go. There's where my boy Jersey Mike. Get that chair going. Eli, in the first couple years of his career, even when he was a rookie, he had the ability to slide. He had the ability to move. In 2004, when he was a rookie, and we've had this conversation before, old Kurt Warner used to get wrecked in the pocket. Held on the ball too long. He made the line was bad enough it was in 2004, but he held on the ball too long. He looked down the field too long, and he took too many sacks, and he took too many fumbles, Kurt Warner. And that's one of the reasons why Tom Coughlin benched him. When Eli Manning came in, except for that Baltimore game and the fiasco at the end of the game against the Eagles, Eli actually got rid of the ball faster than Kurt Warner did, which all of a sudden the line improved. All of a sudden the line looked fantastic. Eli later in his career played behind some bad lines. But what saved Eli and what saved the Giants was Eli's ability to move in the pocket and actually throw the ball away. If anyone remembers the playoff game in San Francisco, Eli took so many shots in that game. That was the one game, or that is the game that cemented Eli Manning in my mind as the all-time great Giant quarterback. He took a beating in that game, especially towards the end of that game. There's the video with it, basically his helmet's twisted around the other side and he's got dirt all over him. He just threw the ball for a completion after he got rocked. But he knew he was going to get rocked, and he knew when to throw the ball. And that's what Daniel Jones needs to learn, not gaining 8 pounds of muscle. So what we need to focus on, guys, is how he looks when he's moving. Not in just shorts, not how his body looks in shorts. No, we need to see how he looks when he's moving from side to side, when he's moving left to right, when he's moving around, how his footwork is working out, how he's setting his feet and throwing downfield. We also need to see if he can focus a little bit more with throwing on the run, play a little rollout game. I mean, they tried to roll out Eli with McAdoo. I mean, Eli had his most success with Ben McAdoo, and I keep Bob McAdoo. No, Ben McAdoo. Jeez. Bob McAdoo was a great basketball player, and I keep getting him mixed up with Ben McAdoo. I have no reason why, and I've been doing that now for a year. But even with McAdoo, as the offense coordinator, they tried to roll Eli out. But Eli's was never the nimble of foot. Eli had some mobility early in his career, and I think a lot of people seem to forget that when you start comparing Daniel Jones, people are comparing Daniel Jones to old Eli Manning, not to 24-year-old Eli Manning, not to 25-year-old Eli Manning. Eli Manning could move in the pocket. Eli Manning could run when he had to, kind of like Daniel Jones. I am hoping Daniel Jones turns into the next great Giant quarterback. I want to see the Giant quarterback Mount Rushmore with Chuck and Charlie up there, with YA, with Eli, with Phil, and then right next to him, Daniel Jones. That's what I want to see. But I want people to focus not how he looks in shorts, but how he's throwing the ball, how he's moving in the pocket, and how he's connecting. And if you think gaining 8 pounds of muscle is going to help you with ball security, like I said, if like 2.5 pounds went into his tendons, and you know what's funny? I called a gentleman, and I played with him at high school, and he went on to be a quarterback at Delaware University. And I laughed because I talked to him. I talk to him every once in a while. I talked to him about the grip, the ability to grip the ball better by gaining muscle. And he even said, he goes, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. He goes, the problem is also if you have too tight of a grip, you're not going to throw a perfect spiral. You're not going to, it's almost, he goes, it's not an exact science, but you need to have the ability to feel the ball, to feel the laces. And if you're gripping it too tight, you're never going to know where it's going to go properly, and you're never going to throw the spiral that you want to throw. And I know Delaware is not the hub of quarterback action, but like I said, he was a good high school quarterback, and he was good enough to get a scholarship to Delaware. But like I said, that's neither here nor there. I just want people to focus on what Daniel Jones looks like throwing the ball and moving his feet, not what he looks like wearing shorts. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giant sports talk and entertainment. If you want to leave us a comment, please do. Send us an email at onlinebigblue@gmail.com. Or, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at onlinebigblue1 on Twitter. I love reading all your comments, especially some of them that we've been getting recently in the comment feed. Please do not apologize if you disagree with me. Disagreeing is healthy. It's a good thing. Oh, one thing, though. I've gotten some great comments, but if you put profanity in it, even one word, YouTube deletes those immediately. I am not deleting those. YouTube is deleting those. So try not to use, like if you're going to use the word, a blank blank, use AZZ. Only because of the fact, I only bring that up because I had some great comments today that were removed from YouTube by YouTube because they had profanity in it. That's the only reason I bring that up. And again, like I said, follow us on Twitter at onlinebigblue1 or drop us an email at onlinebigblue@gmail.com. And you know what? I think we're going to close it out there today. And this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giant sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you could ring that bell, you know what that means? That'd be awesome.